You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 428 of the Centralized favorite podcast. Jeremiah Morrell here, joined by executive video producer, audio engineer, and a man that likes to dress in green, Mr. Zach Burcham.
Good evening.
Welcome to the show.
Yep.
It was looking very much like it was going to be just you and me tonight.
Yeah, a little scared of that. I don't like to do that.
But we found a willing participant, and I know he's going to do a great job for us today. Mr. Bash Crider is here.
Hey.
Welcome. That's the energy I was looking for.
Good to be here. The enthusiasm.
It's a Thursday. Nobody knows what day it is.
It's January 73rd. Plan today. Listen, there's national news that's been really dark and depressing, and we're not going to talk about it. The stuff in Minnesota, not on the agenda. We're just not going to go there today because I think you're getting that content everywhere else you look. So we're going to talk about what we do best. That's some local issues. The data center story that went exactly where we predicted it last week. We're going to unpack that a little bit. We're going to do what all Midwesterners can do at a peak level. We're going to talk about the weather. And then as the cherry on top of the show, we got a whole lot of sports to talk about, even some sports that Zach knows something about.
Just a little bit.
Just enough. I put in the Simona De Silvestro story.
Yeah,
Zach,
that's some
to
good
make
sports
Zach
right
happy.
there. Give me some, yeah.
His manly sports about the Olympics. This show's about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you, other times we'll make you laugh, but hopefully you'll always learn something new. We just did about 15 minutes over on the paywalled side of the world, patreon.com/Boss Hog of Liberty. Or if you're in the Patreon, you get dropped into a special Facebook group where you get to see the live Facebook video as it's going. And you, if you're a member over there, you get the show notes dropped into that group as well. And then those folks also have a private RSS feed where the bonus content gets dropped in there for you. And we share a little extra content. We're a little more public. Yeah. Talk about our woes. It was all about our cars this week. There were no snacks. Mr. Bones got waylaid in Rushville. It was a sad story, but you can get the whole thing over there on Patreon. If you are a member of the Patreon, $50 or more a month, you and your business get top billing at the top of the show. That's John Phillips over at Great Lakes Honda in Fishers. Blake Reese at Varsity Outfitters. They do all kinds of cool merchandise over there. Sports apparel, business apparel, whatever you need. They do all of our logo stuff here at the show. Tommy Oaks at Walnut Ridge RV. I'll tell you what, if you ever feel bad about wasting an RV guy's time because you're like, they're super busy and you can't get the quality time with them you want, go see Tommy this week because it's been 4 degrees, and I bet he hasn't shown a hell of a lot of campers, and he would probably like to go show you some in person. So give him a call. Go see him.
Might shoot him a message, and if you're really go over there, if you're interested in one of the campers they have parked in the showroom.
Yeah.
Those would be the ones to go.
Ask him if you're real serious about it. Maybe he'd even pull it inside where it's nice and warm. It's the concierge service. You tell them what you want, they'll bring it inside, warm it up, and you can go look at it the next day. Morrell Monument Cleaning, Joyce Morrell down in Rush County, taking care of your loved ones' rocks and monuments. She travels all over East Central Indiana to take good care of you. And Pops Recycle, the storefront down there in Rush County as well with your vintage twins. That's the business we got to get out of the way. Now we get to talk about what Bash is passionate about.
Yeah.
And that's everything on the list.
Everything on the list. This is a big list of everything that I have strong opinions on and knowledge of the subject.
And deep knowledge. And he got to spend a lot of time crafting this with us tonight. And he's going to give it all of his effort that he has. All right. So for those that have been following along, Henry County last summer, there were some developers that wanted to bring a data center / technology park to the 109 and 70 interchange. It's been working through the public process for what's called a PUD, which is like a permitted use of that parcel, 500 and some acre site. It passed through the Henry County Planning Commission last year, very late last year. Then the commissioners had to make a decision whether or not they were going to accept that or do something different with it. There have been, I believe, 2 listening meetings from the commissioners, or where they spoke with their attorney, and then they had a meeting in Knightstown where they listened to people testify yes, no, and then heard from the Planning Commission. Last night, the commissioners met at their regular meeting, and the actual vote took place whether or not they were going to accept or not accept the data center plan. It went exactly as we kind of predicted on the show last week. Commissioner Hoon, who represents the southern portion of the county, voted no. She said that it wasn't the right fit for the county. Commissioner Wiley and Commissioner Dellinger both voted yes. Wiley, I generally felt like he was probably going to be a yes vote from the beginning, and Commissioner Dellinger, I wasn't sure where he was going to end up, but he had voted yes on the Planning Commission side, so that was a pretty good indicator that this is where this is going to land. Been really interesting to see the reaction from the community today, Zach. I think you've probably been watching some of the social media.
Yeah.
A lot of folks putting those that voted yes on blast, and it's always fun to see just how much information the general public has when going into these things.
Oh, yeah. I'll be honest. I've been avoiding social media, or I've been avoiding that part of social media, like between the federal stuff and then the local stuff. For anybody that's been paying attention to local stuff, you just keep hearing the same arguments over and over again. And a lot of them are by people that are just parroting stuff and they haven't taken any time to look into what's actually happening or what's going on. I think some people think they're breaking ground on a data center like this spring and that's what they just approved. And it's not.
That's not what happened at all.
No,
so this, the permitted use essentially says that there's a year and a half, Bash, for the developers to bring a project forward that can get placed on that site. So now it's a parcel that's approved, and they can shop it and say, hey, I know Google and Facebook or whatever company that you've not been able to get something approved in your area. We have a site where you can develop it. But I'm telling you, we went through the list. This is the most advantageous version of a project that I've ever seen that you could have. Included in their permission slip to be able to use the site, they have to bring water and sewer to the interchange. At the developer's expense. They're going to pay for water and sewer improvements so that it's essentially first-class water and sewer facilities for Knightstown. Both are big ticket items that we're never going to get paid for without utility rate payers just paying out the nose. It's a natural gas. There's literally the backbone for natural gas that goes between the Gulf of Mexico and Canada goes right through the site. Biggest natural gas pipeline, one of the 2 biggest ones in America, goes right through there. So they'll be able to tap into that and build a natural gas power plant on the site, which is essentially the same thing we have in Henry County over at Cadiz now, between Cadiz and Newcastle and 38, generally regarded as a pretty good neighbor site.
Yeah.
So the big concerns people have with data centers is that they will make your utility rates go up because they suck power from the network.
Right.
This particular one, they've solved that. And then the third issue that folks always have is, well, they're going to use too much water. And early on, data centers did use too much water. This one's a closed loop system where they're going to use less water than
a subdivision.
Than a subdivision with lawns getting watered.
Yeah.
So it's very reasonable to me. It's going to be a massive impact for the property tax base.
So we are going to. There's no tax break on that.
There's no tax break. In fact, they're talking about a payment in lieu of taxes. So instead of having to tax somebody and wait, they're talking about just taking a giant check up front.
Awesome. Well, that'd be good.
So which would be good for the local schools, for Knightstown schools that are Charles A. Beard, and for the little community as well. They even talked about locating like EMS services on the site, building them a place for EMS to sit there, which would be a great location considering you're sitting right there on the interstate.
Yeah. It's a great location for something to be there. And they just said no to every single thing. And it's interesting that we finally got something as a yes. And if it follows the rules that they've laid out, that it does sound like a net positive in many ways for the community. And hopefully they get it done, they get a customer, and hopefully it pays out and people see that, because like it's coming at a critical time where local communities are really coming to terms with the effects of the budget and the taxing stuff coming down from the state. And it could be a saving grace for that nice town area.
Do we know what checks there are? So the two problems are the water and then the power.
Correct.
And then this has built-in corrections for those problems. Are there are there some kind of standards placed on that to make sure that now that they've been approved that
I mean, anything they do, they're going to still have to go through permitting from the state. So IDEM would still be coming in and approving what they do. So they'll still have all of that to be responsible for. IDEM is going to permit any water, stormwater, et cetera, that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would imagine the Indian Utility Regulatory Commission would oversee the power side.
Okay.
So you do have oversight that's in place. That's not a burden on the county.
I have not done the research to come up with an opinion of my own on this topic.
Yeah. I mean, these things get very emotional, and in some places they make sense, in some places they don't make sense. When you're talking about putting it in an area that is already heavily residential, like some of the ones that were looked at for Indianapolis, where they're sitting around people, doesn't make sense. And when you can't put if you don't have the ability for power to sit there right next to it, or you're not creating a power source for it, then it doesn't make sense. But when you are able to locate it next to a source that actually is clean, or as clean as you're going to get, it makes sense to me. I know they're being built in the Ohio River corridor next to nuclear plants, right? You've got nuclear power plants that are already there. You stick one of these right next to a power plant that has excess capacity, it makes sense. But if you're sticking it in Indianapolis, where you're already over the abilities of it doesn't.
Does it create new jobs?
Yeah. It's supposed to be a 10-year long construction project, and then I think 200 or 250 people are expected to work on the site.
Wow.
And they're good paying jobs. They're like $80,000 to $120,000 jobs.
That's good.
So they're not nothing.
It's like playing The Sims. Just can't put it in the right spot. Just makes everything around it. But yeah, there's nothing. I mean, for people who don't, go drive by the area. There's nothing there but 2 truck stops.
So here's the other thing. For those that just had a political awakening, and maybe you're listening to the show because you're interested in the area and in what's happening, the same thing happened when wind really started to come along, and there were some independent candidates that decided they were going to run for county commissioner and county council. And they had to run as independents because they didn't get filed in time to run as Republicans. The filing window is open. So if you are interested in participating in the political process, the Planning Commission has folks that are appointed by the commissioners. One of the commissioners sits on that board, and the county council has one of their members gets to sit on the Planning Commission. 4 county council seats are open and available. In fact, the person that represents Knightstown right now is not seeking re-election and has not signed up to run again. Filing window closes on Friday the 6th of February. So if you would like to be the county council person that might get to represent Knightstown, and for this issue, if it comes around again, now's your chance. Yeah. Northern District Commissioner, you got to live in the northern third of the county. But Joe Wiley, who voted yes to this, is retiring. There's one other candidate who's signed up to run, Chase Heinhold. That's it. So we're going to have a primary in May. People have the opportunity. Bash, if you're not happy with your government, all you have to do is go down and pretend to be a Republican at the county courthouse, sign the form.
I'm registered Republican at the moment.
Sure, everybody is. You have to be if you want to affect change in this community. Zach's our token Democrat, but he's taking some Republican ballots.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's nothing to vote for in the primaries here. I know at some point they're like, I know some people have tried to like make that against the rules. I don't know if illegal would be the right term or whatever, but I'm like, okay, but if you're in Newcastle, literally you would have to pull a Republican ballot for there to be anything in the primary to vote for.
Right.
And sometimes then that for a lot of offices, that was the only vote you cast for that office was in the primary. So yeah, I pulled whatever I pulled whatever was allowed me to influence the elections in the best way possible for my desired outcome.
So yeah, this is the window. If you're interested in affecting local politics, if you like the way this went and you want more like-minded people, then now's the time to run. If you don't like what happened, now's the time to run. You don't have to have a hell of a lot of experience. Most of the people that get into these jobs don't have experience the first year anyway. And a lot of folks are not coming back. I think at least 3 of the 4 seats do not have an incumbent running again. It's going to be fresh blood. So they're open seats. So I think Bobby Plummer is not filing for re-election. Shannon Tom is not filing for re-election. And I think Ken and Gray is going to be done as well. So we'll see.
And that wasn't a super experienced county council.
No.
There's a lot. I mean, most of them are, I would call pre-wind and post-wind. Most of them are post-wind people. So they're like,
you're looking at Chad Malico being one of the most experienced people on the council, and Mike Regner if he wins re-election. He's going to have to pull his weight. Got a lot of responsibility for old Mike going into a second term potentially.
Why don't you run?
Well, here's the thing. I did run, and the voters told me no.
Oh,
I've run twice.
wow.
Yeah. 2018, 2012.
Challenge Tony Saunders' streak.
Yeah. We've given it a shot. I think I ran for county. Let me think about this. 2012, I ran for state representative, got 27% of the vote. It wasn't nearly enough. Tom Saunders beat me, which, that's a
long illustrious list.
That's a long list of people that Tom Saunders beat.
Illustrious list.
I ran for 2 years later. I ran for the county council because nobody else is going to run, and people are better when they have competition. So I ran in 2014 and then again in 2018. Straight ticket voting's a bitch, man.
It's the only wrong way to vote.
Straight ticket voting's a bitch.
It's the only wrong way to vote.
That needs to be. That's come up at the State House.
Yeah.
You need to give them that as the slogan. It's the only wrong way to vote.
I mean,
you don't like straight ticket votings for bitches?
No. In the right, and you know what?
That would work too.
in the right areas, yeah. But one that doesn't offend the little ladies. But yeah, man, it is the only wrong way to vote.
Yep.
And to get another confirmation, do our voting machines in Henry County yell at you if you don't vote straight ticket?
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
you made a mistake.
They're like,
you forgot.
You undervoted. You've under-selected on your ballot or whatever.
Unbelievable.
Henry County got 9 inches of snow over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I believe we predicted it last week on this show, and I was a little shy of that number. I think I was thinking it was going to be more like a 4 or 5 inch deal, but got the full 9. Wasn't the crazy 4 feet that people talked about weeks ago in the first model, but
I think I saw one model being pushed like the last minute. It was like 14 inches, but like you knew we were going to be in the ballpark because we were like right along the line of like up to 8 and then 8 to 12. We were kind of right along the line of it, so I was like, this is going to be interesting. And so
the snow's fine. It's the damn cold, man. That's what I can't take.
It's been below zero almost every morning since it fell.
Yeah,
and we were talking about the forecast earlier. There's no above freezing temperatures in the forecast, and it's not going anywhere.
We are going to Florida this weekend, and we had planned on having a nice resort. A resort. You can look up Disney Springs, Lake Buena Vista.
You were talking about
we got
lazy river.
We got the lazy river. We got the pool. We were going to have umbrella drinks by the pool and enjoy ourselves. Last weekend it was 85 in Daytona for the Rolex 24. I am going to go to Orlando this weekend and watch the locals hide. There are going to be falling iguanas. I need to bring my hard hat. I believe the low on Saturday night is 24 degrees.
Wow.
They don't know what to do.
They are going to be shivering.
Crippled. That will cripple Florida.
It's going to be a hard freeze. I don't know that any of them own coats. I want to get on an airplane with a sweatshirt and not have to worry about a coat ever again for 10 days. It is not looking like that's going to be the way this goes. coldest I've ever been was February in Daytona. I was at the Daytona 500 standing on top of the grandstands. Colts had just won the Super Bowl. I was wearing my Indianapolis Colts Super Bowl hoodie and shorts because it was Florida. And I stood on top of the grandstands for 6 hours in the dark, in the wind, in the race, and I was just freezing. I got a feeling that might be what's happening again. So probably not getting in the lazy river this time.
No, but if you just walk around in a hoodie and shorts, they'll be staring at you.
They'll be shook, man.
They'll be staring at you like you're an alien. It's so fun.
I'm kind of looking forward to watching the locals. Just like this might be the least packed Disney is for ages because people can't.
Yeah, Saturday's gonna be 58
with a 20 to 25 mile an hour wind.
And I went to a water park in Florida one time when it was in the low 60s and upper 50s, and we had a great time in a water park, and they were all in parkas. Like they looked like they were Sir Edmund Hillary getting ready to climb Mount Everest because they literally do not know what to do.
I mean, like, I think they might cancel school Monday.
They might. Because they might be like, we have heat pumps. We don't have furnaces in here. Yeah, Sunday's going to be a high of 47 and a low of 29. They just don't know. And they don't have a break. It's going to be in the 70s, but it's not going to be like warm. Yeah.
It's cold everywhere. And that's the snowpack, right? Like there's literally this Arctic air that's coming down, and then it's just a freezer here. So you've got a foot of snow over Tennessee and Virginia and all points south, where it's just not thawing out. So it's gonna be fun. Do kids go back to school tomorrow? Are they finally going back
right
in?
now? It's a 2-hour delay for tomorrow, and I think that they're going to stick with it
because it's Friday is tomorrow, so they've been out for 4 days straight.
They've been out for 4 days straight. I think that
we're rivaling 1978 here.
Can we finally beat it? I think they genuinely wanted to go today because it was an apologetic text that went out and said we genuinely thought we were going to get it done today, but they said there's drifting in some of the county roads, and it's legit. Like one of the things, salt stops working at a certain temperature, zeros below that temperature, and so I think they were afraid of some of the roads that got wet during the day were just going to glaze over at night. So they did another e-learning day today. But those have been like chaotic. They're not fun. They're structured. So
I get little videos of my nephew doing it, and it's mostly him on a tablet talking to his friends, or trying to.
They're giving, like, my kids are getting homework and they're getting stuff to do. Is it the same that they would get if it was a normal day? No. Are the schools following the rules that the omnipotent and omnipresent state board has given them? Yes, that's what they're doing. They're trying to follow the rules because ultimately, they want to be done with school when school is done. Nobody wants to add on. I know Bash will remember. We had a year where we went into June. They added like a week on the end of the year. And nobody wants to do that because some people, as soon as summer's done, they have plans.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to add on to the year. So they're just using the tools that they have to get it done.
They used to be able to put waivers in place. There were choices or things that could be done to deal with these snow days. But I think a lot of the tools went away because after COVID, a lot of the state controls became really, they were trying to force people back into schools.
Yeah.
Because there were folks that,
I think they should have wavered.
COVID scarred some people.
I think the state should have wavered Monday and just said, hey, everybody, it's a snow day. Like, state government was closed on Monday. Every state office is not essential in the entire state closed on Monday. So I had the day off of work.
How did the county close, but the city of Newcastle stayed open when we were red?
That's always been a thing, though. Like, that's one of the things my understanding is that when the county declares level 3 and they say no travel, that's not actually valid inside the city. That's why I've always been my understanding. There weren't a lot of people out driving around, though. But yeah, city does it. Well, and they did trash services off by a day this week, but I don't know. They do what they want. It was interesting. Monday was interesting. I was just pushing snow all day.
Check Patreon for my Monday story. Bash, you have any feelings about virtual school?
Suffering from ADD growing up, school was already difficult enough. If I had been at home with the ability to distract myself.
Nothing's getting
Well,
done.
Oh,
Again,
absolutely not.
this
I
one-
would not have learned anything.
It's one of the things that I despise is that everything's Google based. It's Google Classroom. So I can turn off websites via the router for my kids, but I can't shut anything Google related off, which means I can't turn off YouTube.
So they can just go like, look at YouTube.
And it's like, I was like, went in to bug my oldest today. I'm like, you doing your work? He's like, multitasking. And he's got a YouTube video on one half the screen. And he's like, well, I'm getting stuff done on the other half of the screen. And I was like,
That sounds like exactly the kind of tools I would use to learn nothing if I were
yeah.
if I were a kid.
It's like, yeah, I'm watching somebody play Minecraft and on in two different screens.
That's
week,
creepy that it's all through Google.
Yeah, it's all Google based.
So
Google Classroom.
Google, which is now anytime you need information, you instead Google it and then just read a bunch of advertisements and like funded facts.
Or you click to watch to get into Google AI to dig deeper.
Yeah, or you do Google, or you have, or you get that, and all of the education is like running through Google and being funded by Google and conditioning the kids to think that Google is giving them facts or information or literally anything other than
They're doing like
targeted
they're
advertisements.
doing like their classroom. I don't know if they're doing advertisements, but they're like they do their Google Meets is how they do their classroom stuff, and then their assignments will be assigned on Google Classroom. And
I'm just thinking our education system is teaching the kids to put a lot of like trust and familiarity into a for-profit system that gatekeeps information and feeds us marketing.
No, man. Google said that don't be evil. That was their tagline. So they're good.
maybe they'll switch to Amazon Web Services next year.
Hey, man. Depending upon who the data center people are, we're going to change to whoever gets the data center. If it's Amazon, they're going to be an Amazon
There we
family. If
go.
it's Google, we're going to be Google. And if it's Apple, then I guess we're going back to MacBooks. I don't know. We'll see. All right, sports. I brought all my nerd friends in to talk about sports tonight. That's what we're doing. All right. NFL Hall of Fame. The way this is supposed to work. A bunch of old retired football types and sports writers get together and they stand in a room and they have a list of people and they argue like nerds would over whether or not somebody has a career that is good enough to get in the Hall of Fame. It's a secret ballot. It's supposed to be secret. You're not supposed to say anything out loud. Nothing's supposed to leave the room. It's like Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. There are 50 writers or 50 media members that get a vote. Basically, one from each in each market. So Mike Chappell, who wrote for the Indianapolis Star he's been covering the Colts since 1984 when they came to town. He wrote for the Anderson newspaper. He worked for the Indy Star, and now I think he's at Channel 4 and Channel 59. He's the Indianapolis guy, and then they've got a bunch of at-large folks. So some names you might know in this market: Tony Dungy, who's now on Football Night in America on NBC. He's a Hall of Fame coached the Colts to the Super Bowl, and Bill Polian, who has a Sirius XM radio show that's his hook in the media, but he's a Hall of Famer and was the general manager of the Colts and the Buffalo Bills for their Super Bowl eras. So those are some of the folks that are on the list, 50 names on there. To go in the Hall of Fame, they've changed the rules quite a bit over the last few years. But there are 4 different categories of people that can go in the Hall of Fame each year. There are modern era players, which are people that have been retired for 5 to 24 years. That's like the bulk of the people that get in. You have to be out of football for 5 years and then before 24 years, and that's your chance to be a modern era person. So folks that retired, I guess around 2000-ish is about the cutoff being a modern era person. Senior player, somebody that's been retired for 25 seasons, so going back to about 2000. So if they played in the 90s or before. A contributor is any past or current official, owner, general manager, etc. So that you don't have to be retired at all. You can go in the Hall of Fame and still be an owner. So Robert Kraft, who owns the New England Patriots, is a finalist this year. And coach. This is the tricky one this year. Coaches, and they made this different. They have to be retired for at least one season. So Bill Belichick, we've been talking about him on this show. Mr. Bones is a big North Carolina fan. He got fired by Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, and he said, "Okay, I'm going to go coach college football," and he's been coaching North Carolina for the last year, which means that this is his first year. He's an eligible person to be in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Mm.
This weekend, or this last week, they met. The story trickled out yesterday, Wednesday, that Bill Belichick will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. They didn't say who's going in the Hall of Fame, but they said Belichick is not going in.
Mm.
Remember, it's Vegas. It's not supposed to get out of the room. They're not supposed to talk about who's doing what. Stories started coming out that the person leading the charge against Belichick getting in was Bill Polian, who was 83 years old, cranky old Irish man, and he ran the Colts. Famously, he got in a huge argument on talk radio over Edgerrin James and an injury with Jay Moore, the comedian. Jay Moore called in and baited him, and it was ugly. So Bill Polian is said to have said, no, we don't want him to go in. You have to have at least 40 of the 50 voters to say yes. And apparently Tony Dungy was on the line too with that. So immediately it starts to be, well, the Colts are being petty, Zach. They say that the Colts can't do this. They're just complainers and whiners or whatever. But the narrative that came out of it is that there were two major controversies at least two major controversies in the Bill Belichick era. First one being Spygate, which was 2005-ish, when the New England Patriots were filming New York Jets, their division rival, sending people and filming their practices. And that was the one they got caught with, where they were sending people and they were video recording, and they ultimately had some major financial penalties, suspensions, draft picks taken. So that's pretty bad. The other one was Deflategate, which
is kind of like
which
is
a
very big deal for Indianapolis fans.
Which a lot of people, it was the Colts and Patriots, and the New England Patriots were caught with underinflated footballs. New England didn't need to be cheating, but they were, right? They were throwing footballs in bad weather that were underinflated below what they should have been. I think one of the Colts intercepted a ball, and he's like, "This thing is soft," because the offenses control their own footballs. And somehow they game the system. People cheat in sports is what happens, but that was the deal. Do you think that this is it's in sports world, this is blown up huge, and a lot of people are like, the Colts are just being petty. This is getting pinned on Indiana and Indianapolis as being petty, and I feel like in the 765-317 region, maybe we're rose-colored glasses on this thing, saying, no, we're holding them accountable. We can't let these cheaters in the first ballot.
You said it was like 50 or 60 guys. 3 guys.
50 guys. 3 guys maybe lead to the charge, but they
convinced enough other people that's
in the room. Yeah. If you're saying, hey, we can't have cheaters go in on the first ballot, you're rewarding them on the first time. Now, granted, this guy has 8 Super Bowl rings, 6 of them as head coach, 2 of them as an assistant. So
that sounds like the kind of pettiness that happens at every level, at every sports Hall of Fame level. Like there's always, well, he's not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer because he did this. And that's just the petty politics of any group, I think. So it's like, I don't really care. That Belichick doesn't care either. Like, it's not like
he's still actively coaching.
Yeah.
And that's the part to me that this rule of you've got to be, if you're out for 1 year, you can go in the Hall of Fame.
But by the way, 1 year is ridiculous for coaches
because they can come right back.
A lot of them will get fired, and most of them their contracts are such that they're still getting paid for a couple of years. Like, was it the Raiders or something?
Oh, the Raiders are still paying like 4 head coaches.
Yeah, they're paying like 4 head coaches, like real money too, like $8 to $10, $12 million a year each. And so a lot of them take like a year off sabbatical, and then they decide, do I want to go back into coaching? What kind of offers am I getting? Or is there a spot on TV for me? And then, because they're getting paid. So yeah, 1 year is like no time at all I think it needs to be closer to 5. This just sounds like the kind of thing that happens if you got caught cheating in the midst of being wildly successful, you're going to get punished for it. If you got caught cheating and you suck, then nobody will care. But
say you're Roger Penske and there's a Motorsports Hall of Fame, Zach, and you've won 20 some Indy 500s, and God only knows you just won back-to-back Rolex 24s and multiple NASCAR Cup championships.
Yeah.
All of those things. But you got caught with a cheating scandal in your IndyCar team, and then you got caught with another cheating scandal in your IndyCar team 2 years later, and you got caught with your NASCAR team with web gloves cheating, and you got caught with your IMSA program faking it with your underbody in your car, and say in a 4 or 5 year period. All of those things happen. Somebody like Roger Penske shouldn't go in the Hall of Fame? Should he have to wait a year?
I would...
Because is that an equivalency?
I genuinely no. Well, I don't think it is. I could be wrong there. Someone could correct me. Like, no, because I will say this: racing's different. They say if you're not cheating, you're not trying at racing. So racing, I think, embraces the attempts to push the rules. But if there's the board that's deciding who gets to be in the Hall of Fame, and if Chip Ganassi is on that committee, then I could see him not being a first ballot because Chip would lead the charge to be like, hey, cheated.
They got caught.
And it's like,
I mean, the Spygate thing, Deflategate, that's petty, and I get it. But Spygate was basically NFL espionage.
Yeah, legit cheat, and as opposed to,
you got caught once, and this is why a bunch of people got fired at Team Penske last year in the IndyCar world, because you all got beat down 2 years ago for whatever the hell they were. What was the cheating? I'm forgetting what the first cheating scandal was. It was manipulating engines and a push to pass scandal.
Yeah,
right. That happened, and then the next year they were modifying parts they shouldn't have modified. And then everybody got fired.
Which they've been modifying for 2 years.
Yes,
but they just didn't get caught.
Yeah,
I think racing might be a little bit different, but it could also be the same.
It's a pattern of behavior, though. I think that's the. But also, if you're there long enough, you're gonna get caught, screwing up a little bit.
You won't impact his legacy at all.
Does this kind of stuff happen in the legal world? Reputations of people.
Well, I mean,
is there like a Henry County Lawyers Hall of Fame?
The legal world, up until recently, I don't know, is maniacally self-governed. I mean, the kind of your integrity.
How many lawyers are in Newcastle? Practice. You would interact.
Not
with.
Many, a handful.
I was going to say because it kind of has to be because there's just not a big enough.
We're running.
It's a small group, and you have to keep each other accountable.
Yeah.
Because one person could poison the whole.
Yep.
The whole well.
Yeah. And
well, you gotta have somebody get caught dealing drugs. What could possibly go wrong?
You do end up with stuff like that, and the other attorneys don't take it well. I think if the legal world had a Hall of Fame, I think instances of misbehavior would weigh far more than instances of good behavior. I mean, pattern of the behavior. I don't know. I guess I am coming at this from that perspective. That is the kind of thing that I would think besmirches things. I mean, to me, I would wonder, like, what exactly does a Hall of Fame nomination mean? I mean, are we talking about like
it's a jacket and a speech, and you get a bust in Canton, a little statue. A little statue with your face on it, forever immortalizing you as one of the greats.
It's kind of your community, though, endorsing that you're one of the greats.
Yeah,
and so I see with the attorney, if that person is like a garbage human being and it repeatedly came out in public that they were a garbage human being, you don't want to honor that person. So, like,
right.
Is Bill Belichick a garbage person? I don't know. People seem to like you hear Peyton Manning say he's a good dude, he's a great guy. Obviously, very driven to win. And the same thing with Roger Penske. I think Roger Penske's like his reputation kind of is his calling card because he constantly has contracts with multiple manufacturers. He's making it like at one point I think he was NASCAR, Ford, Chevy in IndyCar, and then he had deals with like Porsche or whatever for IMSA. So he's representing 3 different makers, and they're all counting on him appropriately compartmentalizing their information because they don't want the other ones to get it. So,
And he's the biggest Twitter dealer in the world.
yeah, he's still getting all that stuff. So the Belichick thing just sounds like the same kind of.
You're not offended that he's missing a year. You don't think this is a
I'm
major affront?
I'm an Indianapolis person or an
Yeah.
Indiana person, and I was like, I'm a bandwagon guy. I don't watch football much anymore, but like I was on board with. They're really easy to hate. The New England Patriots as a Hoosier are really easy to hate, and so I'm just kind of like, does he care? Probably not. Do I care? No. And I think it just sounds like the politics of any group.
They all got a sternly worded letter reminding them that if you get caught talking outside of class, you will no longer be in class. So there was a press release from the Hall of Fame last night saying, you people can't talk about this shit outside of
To me,
Fight Club.
this is the same thing as baseball, where baseball is notorious for so-and-so. They got caught like one time with steroids or whatever. So they're automatically not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, and this is a movie, but still, it reminds me of, and it's a great movie. Remember the Titans, where there's a game that's being fixed because it's an integrated school, and the guy calls the officials out. He says, "I'll rat you all out," and they tell him during the game, he's like, "You just lost yourself the Hall of Fame." And that kind of pettiness even shows up in like Disney movies. It's just a thing. So
it feels kind of poetic to me. I mean, not having any. I don't watch football.
Yeah,
these days I used to from time to time, but I've never been deep into it. But I mean, obviously, he's one of the greatest coaches ever. He belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Just not right now.
Yeah. Also, I mean, someone who doesn't need to, who is cheating. I mean, is that not the most terrifying? Like, if he's bad, we don't care that he's cheating. In fact, we kind of want him to cheat, and then we can feel good when he gets stopped. I mean, is there anybody out there who's like, cheating? I mean, is there anyone who finds cheating anything other than detestable?
Patriots fans.
So put him in the Hall of Fame, but just make him wait a year, and
he might even like it. If you imagine, if you're one of those people that kind of likes being a villain, then they just put the asterisks on you, and they just certified you that you got under everybody's skin just enough while simultaneously kicking their ass.
Yeah,
that they just made you wait a year, and you're like, I didn't even care, but it's going to be there, and it'll last forever. And like, they couldn't handle me beating them.
There's one NFL game left this year. It's the Patriots and the Seahawks. It's meh. So we are turning the page on the sports calendar to the Olympics.
I'm pretty stoked.
The Winter Olympics start February 6th in Milan. We're in Indiana, so it's Milan, Italy. You're not a big Olympic guy, Bash.
I used to watch it when I was a kid.
So I grew up, before I was a Hoosier, and the folks at General Motors brought me to Indiana. I was from northern New York. So Lake Placid in the Adirondacks hosted the Winter Olympics in 1932 and 1980. I was born in 1983, so the Olympics still had some cachet when I was growing up, having been 45 minutes away from the Olympic venues. So we always paid attention, like the skiing, bobsledding, the luge. That was it. I'm a racing guy, right? From my childhood, like things going fast, whether it's against the clock or against other people, I'm in. It gets me excited. So the Olympics have always had a special place for me, like Calgary in 88 or Vancouver or whatever, all these cities have had the Olympics. So I'm excited they're coming back. Zach, do you know different Olympic sports? There's not nearly as many Winter Olympic sports.
No, I'm
curling.
Curling's one, and that was a big one.
Big a couple years
in the last
ago.
few years.
Yeah,
we're hearing about that.
And those dudes are great because they look like I could do that. Like that's the most I could do that look at sports. Like these guys were at a bar 45 minutes before they started their round. Like,
and they're going to McDonald's after.
With a gold medal around their neck.
So here's your breakdown of what they have. So if you're shopping for some Olympic events, the opening ceremonies are on the 6th, but they actually start competitions on the 4th. So this is coming up very quickly. Wow. Alpine skiing, so mountain skiing, biathlon, which is cross-country skiing along with shooting, which is the most American thing ever.
Yeah. You should win that.
Bobsled, spectacular. Cross-country skiing, which is skiing on
That looks exhausting.
skiing without the help of hills or going uphill. Curling, which has become everybody's favorite. That's a relatively new thing. Curling was not in the Olympics when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's huge.
Freestyle skiing, which is jumping. I'm sorry. I did not mean to. Listen.
Did he skip figure skating?
Curling, figure skating. Tanya Harding is going to come hurt me, okay? Ice hockey. That's 1980, man. The luge, the luge is incredible.
Insanity.
Nordic combined, which I believe is ski jumping and some other stuff. Short track speed skating,
that's also pretty impressive to watch.
Which is crazy. The endurance these guys have for that is crazy.
Yeah, because some of them, short track, but some of the events are longer. They're like, I don't know what the longest distance is, but it's minutes, and they're bent over and they're hustling, and their strategy is great.
Skeleton, which is luge,
the most
but
insane,
on your belly head first.
Head first, yes, that's the one. That's the one that's like, did you start this before you're 18? Did your parents say okay to this?
Right.
Yes. You're doing like 70, 80 mile an hour or whatever.
The best part is that we will have Lee Diffie, the former voice of the Indy 500, for skeleton, bobsled, and luge.
Yeah.
On NBC.
All the track event.
This Australian man doing all of the sliding sports.
Yeah.
Ski jumping, which is also nuts.
Insanity.
People flying through the air.
Yep.
Ski mountaineering, which I am not familiar with. That may be a new sport. Snowboarding, which is incredibly American. And speed skating. Also fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I just saw, where the mountaineering one is one I just saw a guy doing a qualifier maybe for it. And it's where it's not like a course. They're dropping him on the top of a mountain, like it's just a mountain, and like go to the bottom. And because this guy tripped, like not a huge one, but he started an avalanche.
Ski mountaineering, or skimbo, is a rapidly growing human-powered winter sport combining alpine climbing and backcountry skiing, where you ascend steep terrain using skins and descend on skis. This is going to be the first time it's an Olympic sport.
Sounds like a great way.
So climb the mountain and slide down the mountain.
Sounds like a great.
Yeah, I feel like I need to rest after reading that description. That just sounds so hard.
If nothing else, this can make the Olympics can make anybody feel like an underachiever.
Yeah,
especially when they give like, oh, this mountaineer guy, his mom died when he was 7, and his dad had cancer, and he worked 3 jobs.
Right.
I love the stories that come out about Olympians.
The people. That's my favorite part, though, is like they get really into the humanitarian side of it, the stories, and like Lindsey Vohn's back, and she basically had one of her knees reconstructed. And she came back and qualified for the team again.
I was trying to figure out what the major stories were going into the Olympics, and when I looked it up, it was like, here's Lindsey Vonn in a bikini. That was literally the top story of what they were trying to sell me on. 232 Americans are going as athletes this time. That's a record. We're down to like less than 10 Russians because apparently Russia's fighting with everybody right now. I don't know if you knew that or not, Bash.
I didn't.
And we still have one Hoosier in the Olympics.
Hey,
Nick Goepper from Lawrenceburg. He's 31 and he's back again. He's medaled before, and he's a skier or a snowboarder. So we'll see what happens. Simona De Silvestro, former Indianapolis 500 starter, maybe 3 or 4 starts in Indy 500. Zach.
Yeah.
One of the women who ran in the same era as Danica Patrick and Milka Duno, Catherine Legg. Who else she maybe ran against back in the day? Sarah Fisher, maybe.
Anna Beatrice.
Anna Beatrice. We had a slew of women running IndyCar back at the time. She's going to be an Olympic bobsledder. We always knew her as the Swiss IndyCar driver, Zach.
Yeah, the Swiss Miss.
But she's not on the Swiss team, which all of my real knowledge comes from Cool Runnings, and the Swiss were the impressive team.
They sure were.
So apparently she couldn't make the Swiss team.
Wow.
She's going to be a hometown Italian. She's going to be on the Italian team, Zachary.
Yeah, that's always the strange thing about some of the people you're like, especially like you get into summer sports too, like NBA players, and you're like, are you really from like because they're like, well,
they have like family heritage or
like
something
yeah,
where
like
they can claim it, and or those people are happy to have you.
yeah, their great aunt is whatever from that country, which is whatever. I bet because I wondered that I was like, is she going to qualify like on the Swiss team? Like that's legit, and it's like the Italian team, which is cool because it's home country. She's representing the home country, but yeah, I'm pretty stoked for her because she's I miss her in IndyCar, and so it's cool to see stuff going on from.
She wasn't a bobsledder. She just took this on like 4 years ago.
Yeah, she's like, I'm just going to try this,
and now she's an athlete. These people are athletes. So we got a human interest story.
Yeah.
Bash as you're going into this.
It makes me want to rewatch Cool Runnings.
I tried to look it up. The American team during one of the like qualifying things basically did a Cool Runnings thing where only one guy got in the sled on a 4-man bobsled. It's pretty. I mean, that's got to happen every once in a while because if you watch bobsledding 4-man, it's a miracle that they get in there. Like one guy starts in the sled, 3 guys are pushing, and somehow all of them end up in there in a tiny space. But
NASCAR used to race the Busch Clash this weekend down at Daytona Beach, and in the interest of mixing things up for 2 or 3 years, they built a temporary racetrack at the in California
at the Rose Bowl.
At the Rose Bowl, and that ran its course. And they said, we don't want to go back to Daytona. That's too expensive. So let's go to Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And they did that last year. It's a football field with a racetrack around it, a local North Carolina short track situation. And they got away with it last year, Zach. It's scheduled again for this weekend. Winston-Salem, North Carolina forecast. There's a nor'easter coming in. It's the same thing that's screwing up Florida this weekend.
You're hours and hours and hours north of Florida. So if it's cold in Florida,
they are scheduled to race. They were supposed to be all weekend. Technical inspection was today. Race cars got there today, and they were going through tech. They have canceled everything except for Sunday at this point. Saturday in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the high will be 22 degrees. The low of 15, and they're expecting 3 to 5 inches of snow on Saturday with a NASCAR Cup race on national TV, the Cookout 500. The high temperature is set to be 31, winds of 20 miles an hour. It's going to look like you're at a Packers football game, a Packer playoff game, or the Chicago Bears. What the Bears just had last week when they lost, or 2 weeks ago. That's what it's going to feel like.
Does Goodyear have a tire compound that will handle Noble at that temperature?
I don't know if they're going to be able to handle racing that on tires that are that cold. Like the Indy 500 in 1992, people could not race.
It was in the 40s.
Yeah.
And this is 30, coming off of a low of 15 and snow the night before. So the snow alone, even if they get it plowed, the track is going to be frigid. I'm curious as to I'm shocked that Goodyear hasn't said we're not doing this. We can't provide you a product that'll work for this. It's got to be, they've got to the tires have to be concrete at 30 degrees.
As a fan.
That sounds horrible.
You're just like, how bad do you want this?
You might want to be in the front row just so you can hopefully get some heat off the exhausts. It sounds horrendous.
North Carolina's too far north for a January race. Like this is February, right?
Lost,
it's January 31st. They're trying to have cars on track. Hell, it'd be cold in Daytona this weekend. Like it'd be borderline down there.
There's times, where for the Rolex that it's dropped into the 30s and it's gotten kind of colder, 40s for the Rolex.
They had a 7-hour caution because of fog because it got so cold this last weekend. I don't know. It cracks me up, but they're back, man. They're racing. The sports calendar is off. Motorsports world is back in. IndyCar, you got content days happening now. I guess you'll have some testing on track. You've got we're stretching things out. Bash either gave up on the podcast or he's paying the rent on the waters. But the Dale Coyne Racing, we got IndyCar on track this next month in February. Still nobody announced for that seat either.
Yeah, but there's reportedly if you watch all the Instagram posts from your guy Alex Pillow, you see a potential driver in the background of one of those. Because I looked up Winston-Salem's average high for this time of year is 49.9, and the average low is 29.9. They have no business scheduling a race at a track that's average high is in the 40s. That's for February 1st. Yeah.
Global warming did not help them this year. No, it didn't help.
Well, and there's nowhere on the East Coast that they could have had this race, really. But
Florida. That's why they do. That's why they go to Florida.
Yeah, but even then, it's like they should have gone like Arizona.
All right, Mr. Bash. Tell me about the Church Street Gym. You've been a one-man committee trying to save this building. We've talked about it for a couple of years on here.
Yes. 4 years, me and me alone.
The Bash Crider Center at the Hoosier Gym, or the Nice Town, or the
very
Church Street
recently,
Gym.
several people and me, a solid board and many allies and many people in the community who care about it.
You've been working with some statewide organizations, the Indiana Landmarks organization. Is that right?
Yeah, Indiana Landmarks is our primary partner here, as well as the township trustee, who's the current owner of the building.
Up for re-election this year, by the way. If anybody wants that job, you could. That's another one that's open.
That's another one.
You could sign up for the next week.
I don't need to be the township trustee.
Anyway, you were saying before I interrupted.
So to bring anybody up to speed who hasn't heard about it, township trustee has a new building, so they got to get rid of the Church Street Gym / the old YMCA, and we are working to try to rescue it. Essentially, a building that big requires a very expensive project to revitalize, to make it self-sustaining. And that means that the building has to be donated along with a lot of money, tax credits, community support to, whatever developer can do this, which means that it has to be in charitable or municipal hands during that process. So we've got a charity, we've got a nonprofit called Renew Castle that the township trustee has agreed to donate the building to Indiana Landmarks. Indiana Landmarks would then put its protective covenants on the building and then donate it to Renew Castle, along with a dollar for dollar $50,000 challenge grant. We need about $200,000 to stabilize the building and carry it for about 4 to 5 years through grant cycles and then, just public funding stuff. We should be able to carry it, but we should be able to raise the second 200. So we've kind of set the threshold at, if we're able to raise 50,000 to meet the challenge grant, make 100,000. Before halfway through February, we're running out of time here. Then we'll accept the building. So far, we are up over 30,000. I don't know exactly what the number is. So we got 20,000 left to raise, and that makes 100,000, and
that'll get you started.
That gains site control. Once we have site control, there's a lot more that we can do. You get expectations in these things, and this is a difficult project, and it's an emergency. It's not an opportunity. We're not doing this because I can tell you, oh, we're going to make this and it's going to be like this and everybody's going to have free basketball for no.
Have the building standing.
Exactly.
And not, save it for some opportunity.
Yep. So
the call to action today is raising $20,000 between now and the middle of February.
Yes.
That's the ask. If folks want to get involved, where do they go?
So the best way, just contact me. If you want to just tag me on this, send me a Facebook message, or text me. My personal cell is 765-524-3306. Get a hold of me.
Just Venmo your cash to Bash. That's
Yeah.
what he's saying.
If we raise this and we take site control of the building, then we will actually create a website, a Zephy, a Facebook. There'll be it'll be a lot easier to participate at that point, and we'll have a lot more ways that people can participate. But for this initial hump, just getting that amount, contact me. We have other partners, but this isn't guaranteed. If you love this building, it's now or never.
It's become a passion project for you over the last few months, or even the last year. I've walked into Bash at the on a Saturday morning at the coffee shop, and he's nose deep trying to figure out how these grants and opportunities work and how this stuff gets done. You've been pouring yourself into it.
I really have. I've fallen in love with the downtown. I work here. I live here. I own buildings here. My second job was as a janitor at the YMCA. Grew up amid stories of the Church Street Gym. When I was a kid, I went to the Presbyterian Church across the street. The building means a lot to me as a person from Newcastle. Also, with the momentum that we have downtown, it's the kind of thing that we either sustain that or we lose it. And this is a landmark. It's also a giant building. This is the reason. This building is a great example of many of the reasons why downtowns matter.
Yeah.
We can either fill it with people, whether that's as a hotel or an apartment. We fill it with more memories. We fill it with more opportunities for growth in our town. And we continue to make the town, to grow the downtown, make it more and more awesome. Or we watch it fall. And
there's still people playing basketball in there almost every night. There's activity happening in the building. It's not abandoned.
So yeah, and that's an interesting. That's something that we're going to need to solve. And I am hoping that we can utilize that. Indiana Legends plays there, and then I guess the township trustee just gave some guys a key. And so there's some people who, it's not an organization, they just play basketball there. If we can, what I would hope to do is work with them, because that basketball court has a concrete floor. So if it's not heated through the winter, it cracks. As you can imagine, heat is not cheap, nor is the kind of insurance required to let a bunch of people unsupervised just play basketball in your abandoned gym. So we're going to need to...
it feels like the plot to Dodgeball, man. Trying to save a gym.
Right.
This is what you're doing.
It kind of is. So I'm really hoping that we're able to
You are
team
the
up
Vince
with
Vaughn character in the
both of
movie.
those groups. Yeah. Well, if we can, that's the kind of thing where, like, yeah, if they can pay the heat and the insurance, then heck yeah. The more community involvement, the more community benefit, like that's what we're trying to do. We're chained down by not having any money and ultimately having an $11 million adaptive reuse project. But yeah, so yeah, the big thing right now, what we need is money. Though, if you are involved in it, if you love it, if you care about it, if you know people who care about it, if you want to be involved in other ways, still contact me. Because we need you. We want you to be a part of it.
Got opportunities. Opportunity for final thoughts, Mr. Zach? Anything we forgot? Need to clean up?
No. You shovel your sidewalks, people.
Shovel your sidewalks,
please. The snow's not going anywhere, so you might as well shovel it. It's not going to be gone in a week or two. So for the pedestrians, for the runners, for the kids who are going to be trying to get to school tomorrow, in the next week, shovel your sidewalks, or find somebody to shovel your sidewalk or something.
Oh, hey, I know a thing about sports.
Oh, wow.
I forgot to say it during the sports segment.
Lay it on me.
Tomorrow is the Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble.
The WWE Royal Rumble.
Where's it at?
Television.
Which streaming service do I need to have to watch the Royal Rumble, Bash?
No clue.
The Peacock.
You guys don't watch WWE?
No, I kind of retired from that. I was like 14 or 15.
Yeah, I did too. But but I still have a friend who watches.
He's
He
in.
told me, yeah,
He says that you got to promote it.
Saturday is the Royal Rumble. So.
All right. Well, it's on the 31st, which is Saturday.
It's like something like 30 people fighting each other in the same ring.
Well, I think
It's the 39th annual, everybody.
I watched a lot of wrestling as a kid, and then I remember took a break because I discovered girls and cars and whatever. And then I was out of college. I turned it on. I was like, it's the same people. It's the same dudes. I'm like, how old's the Undertaker at this point? He's got to be 65 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a lot of HGH and steroids to keep yourself pumped up.
All right. I have good news. It's on the ESPN. I recognize the name Logan Paul and Brock Lesnar also in this, along with a bunch of other names.
I believe his daughter is an NCAA national champion shot putter.
Really?
Yes.
Brock Lesnar's?
Yes.
A shot putter.
Yeah.
There you go. If you live in Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Chile, you got to go to the Netflix. But here in America, ESPN.
There you go.
Bash, thanks for answering the call on no minutes notice.
Yeah.
You're an incredible human.
Sometime I'll be on here when I
can prepare,
have thoughts and opinions on the subject matter.
Mold the notes a little bit.
This was an easy week. I was like, we're going to talk data center. I'm going to wing it. I'm fine. I got bones. I know it's just off vibes. I prepared the show notes. I kind of gave a few ideas to the guys, and then the big brown truck sent our guy to Rush County.
I'll say this quickly. It's not a super light thing, but hopefully the community gets a little bit better. Jeremiah and I have been getting messages from a guy who is very active in the Nicetown community, who is getting kind of not low key death threats and threats to his personal being because of the data center vote that hadn't yet happened yet. I really hope people in this community get a little bit better about understanding that I don't think that he or anybody in the community was trying to do this to ruin anybody's lives. They genuinely think it's going to be a positive thing for the community. And we should just avoid threatening people's lives and well-being over things like land use, unless we're talking about somebody trying to put a toxic sewer dump behind a school, which is not what was happening. But be better, everybody. We're better than that.
No show next week.
Yeah.
Our plan is to be back a week from Monday. So with that, say thank you guys very much, and we'll see you in February.